I'm a single mom, so I don't often get to feel like a hero. I'm so busy working two jobs. Sometimes I'm in school, other times I'm, taking on an extra project to make a little extra income, and I'm getting them to school and getting them home, making them dinner, do baths, put them in bed. And I just don't have a lot of time to be their hero. And I know, like, when they look back, they're going to see that I made sacrifices for them and that I was their hero. But I don't think they see me as a hero right now, and I don't often get to feel like a hero. But I'm going to tell you about a story that when I look back, I get this feeling of pride and just, I felt like a hero. So I was living in Africa adopting my older son, and we had been starting this little farm hobby because we kept being stuck there much longer than we thought. COVID had pushed back the adoption, and then this was after COVID had opened back up the country, but the rest of our family had gone home, and I was waiting with him to be able to come home. And I was in the kitchen cooking, and because we were now living alone, I had put on little tiny pajama shorts and a t-shirt and no bra because we weren't living with other people. Previous to that, my parents had like missionaries coming to and from the house. And so I would have to dress up a little more. So I was cutting vegetables and my child was outside playing and, riding his bike and climbing in trees and doing all sorts of destruction with the pile of dirt in the yard. And I heard a blood-curdling scream. And I do not know how I knew this before he finished his sentence. But he screamed, "Mama!" And I knew it. I knew there was a snake. One of my biggest fears, but I knew it. I had made it all these years in Uganda without seeing a snake. I had heard about my siblings seeing snakes. My parents had seen snakes, but I had prayed and prayed to the Lord that I would never see a snake in Uganda. And at this time, when I was left alone without a man, I had to find out there was a snake. I don't know how I knew it, but I knew it. So then I heard him scream, "Snake," which confirmed what I had feared. So I ran to where my dad had left hidden a machete for protection because I'm going to use the machete to protect myself. Well, I guess I did. But anyway, so I run out into the yard and my child is up in the mango tree and he's pointing and he's screaming, "Mama, Mama." And I look down and our chickens, because we had decided we would have this hobby farm, because we were stuck in Uganda. What else were we going to do? There was no television. Come on. Anyway, so we had gotten these chickens and they were around this snake and he was just screaming about his chickens, and his chickens had pecked the snake, so the snake was like distracted. I don't even know if the snake wouldn't have just died on its own, but I was filled with this like insane rage at this brown cobra thing, and I was like, "You're dead to me, man." Honestly, I chopped that thing up with a machete maybe 28 times. I just was chopping and chopping, and I was like, "Hiya! Hiya! Hiya!" I honestly was possessed by the spirit of, like, I don't know, Mulan or something. I literally went insane like a warrior. I chopped. Honestly, maybe I was actually channeling like Julia Child or something because there was just a lot of chopping involved. Anyway, so I look up. I see my kid's fine. Everything's good. I'm like, "Have you been bit?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, great." And I turn and I look, and there's this little guard shack that is on the outside of our fence. We lived in a compound, and they kept people from coming in and out of the children's home without going through them. But they also were supposed to watch our gate because we were like at the front of the children's home. And all the guards are looking at me, and they're like, and I'm not sure to this day if they were surprised to see my pasty white legs when I had not previously dressed like that because it's not culturally appropriate, or if they were just impressed that I had killed a snake, or if they were afraid I was in fact insane. I'm not sure. But I gathered the machete and smiled at them, wiped it on the ground to get rid of some blood, grabbed my kid and went inside. And part of me was embarrassed because I was underdressed. The other part of me was proud. And the final part of me was kind of glad that I knew it would get around the village that I was a crazy lady with a machete, and maybe I would stop getting picked on for being a mazunga in the market. I don't know, which is, their term for a white person, which actually I think originated by big dumb person and then became the name for all white people. But anyway, it's besides the point. So yes, I felt like a hero. My kid told everybody in the children's home that I killed a snake for him. And I jokingly got called the snake killer. And honestly, as a Christian, what else do you want to be but a snake killer? So yeah, that's my story of being a hero.